So, hello everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
𝗍𝗏 can hear you. I trust that everybody else can hear me as well. Well, good morning, good afternoon, evening, wherever you are, everyone. My name is 𝗍𝗏 𝗪𝗶𝗪, and I will be your co-host today. Some of you know me from the studies business, but this time it is about my future business. So welcome to our session, which we call Creating Alignment Between Customers and Organizations Through Jobs to be Done. And it's also about our learnings from 32 professionals where we had discovery interviews with them. First, thank you for joining us. We are thrilled to have such a diverse and hopefully engaged audience here. A lot of people I know from the past as well, which is nice. And I hope all of us are united by a shared interest in driving alignment, creating meaningful progress for the customer, and about building a foundation for sustainable growth. So through our recent study of 32 professionals, we uncovered valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities of integrating customer needs with organizational goals. There was one key observation, which is probably not surprising. So it can be lonely, and you likely face a difficult journey when you are working to create a meaningful change in your organization. And it often requires that you first need to feel the pain or push that drives the need for change. And you probably need to overcome obstacles and really have the ambition to take an action. And it helps if you have a framework that provides clarity and direction. So in today's session, we'll delve into these insights and share actionable strategies to bridge the gap between stakeholders and customers. And that's powered by the Jobs to be Done framework. And now I am honored to introduce my colleague and co-host, 𝗍𝗏 𝗪𝗏. 𝗍𝗏 is a seasoned expert in Jobs to be Done customer design, with a lot of experience. And if you have any questions, please share them in the Q&A section on the right side, and we'll try to answer them immediately or afterwards in the Q&A session. So, 𝗍𝗏, welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Mikko. And I want to welcome everyone here, and especially our study participants. We have quite a few of them here observing our results. And the purpose of this session really is to give you what you need in order to get started with Jobs to be Done. And this is a hard job. It's selling a new kind of framework methodology to your organization, and that is always hard, as we will see in the following slides. But before we jump into the content, I want to go through the agenda for today. We have three parts. The first one is talking about understanding the challenges in aligning customers with the organization. I would say this is one of the biggest issues in business today. It's that creating that alignment with customers and the internal alignment among different silos. And we have some great study results to look at. The second one is we interviewed so many people about great experiences with Jobs to be Done, and we will share these results. We had in total 25 people applying Jobs to be Done, and we'll report back what they told us, what their pushes were, I mean, how it all got started, what the benefits were they observed, what was in the way of applying Jobs to be Done, and also what were some of the catalysts that helped to get them started. And in the third part, we got to talk about what we can provide you with in terms of tools, process, and education to become a leader in the alignment with customers. And I think this is one of the most exciting roles in business today, is someone who can create alignment out of the former situation, being frustrated, sitting between the chairs. And we think we have a great solution for that. So let me talk quickly about who we are. So I'm gonna hand over to Mikko, just giving a quick update on where he comes from and what he brings to the table.
Okay, thank you, Eckhard. So some of you or many of you know me from the time with studies. Studies is still there, but I'm looking to hand it over to some younger people to take that. And now I'm happy to be joined with Eckhard in Uniphore Solutions. And my passion has always been to help people to be more successful. And what we're doing here is that we're aligning customers with the teams and with the stakeholders. And I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, thank you, Mikko. A few words about myself. I worked for over 18 years at a big software company in different product management, marketing, and the last role was about creating marketing excellence. And I've always been passionate about customer experience. And in 2016, I discovered actually jobs to be done at a workshop that was run by Alexander Osterwalder. It was one of his master classes on a business model canvas. And I immediately fell in love with jobs to be done. I thought this is the new way of explaining why people bring new products into their lives. And since then, I've tried to create great content, tools, a process to help people apply jobs to be done, because that's what many people struggle with. They don't know how to apply it. They love it, but yeah, you can read books. Maybe there are some classes out there, but it's really hard to work with data, to create the data and then use the data for creating strategy around the customer. So that was my passion. And you will also see today part of my work. And if you want to sign up with us, with our training program, these are the tools you're gonna be using. So let's take a look at the first of all the results from our studies. As I said, we did 2 studies. One study was with customer research practitioners, and these were product managers, customer researchers, and people from the consulting space. It was a diverse group of people from Germany, France, and Israel. And I ran this study with someone else in 2001 to early 22. 21 to 22. And we had 7 male, 2 female interviewees. That's very typically I would say this discipline is probably dominated still by male. And then we did last year in summer the Jobs to be Done practitioners study with a very diverse set of practitioners. And you cannot really condense it to 1 or 2 job titles. It was, I mean, we had like 21 people and there were almost like 21 job titles. So Jobs to be Done is done by many professions. Most of our interviews came from the US. We also had some, of course, from Germany and UK, France, Spain, Canada, Montenegro, and the Netherlands. And as I said, we ran this in summer. And we had 20 male and 3 female interviewees. One thing I can say up front, with the Job to be Done practitioners, all of them were super happy having discovered this tool. And they told us how it solved a lot of their problems, which doesn't mean it's easy to apply. You just throw it over the wall and do Jobs to be Done. It's not the case. But at least when they implemented it, when they put the effort into it, applying it, it made a huge difference. So let's go back to the first study and see what we've heard from the from our first study participants. It's, of course, they are in a generalist job function, and they are charged with finding out what customers need. They need to find the problem-solution fit, which is always hard if you haven't done the research, if you don't understand the problem in the first place. It's incredibly hard, and there's a lot of kind of fighting going on what the right solution is. The third pillar is influencing stakeholders. Influencing stakeholders, especially if you don't have formal authority over an entire organization. That is probably the hardest thing, is influencing without authority. And managing different stakeholder expectations. You have expectations from your leaders, from your peers, from the development department, from customers, from members from the ecosystem. That is incredibly hard. I would say that is one of the hardest jobs in the world, is getting alignment between these stakeholder groups. But when you have a good process, this can be done in a good fashion. So let's take a look at the key challenges that we heard from these people in this generalist function. First of all, it looks very basic, finding and defining customer needs. So it's one thing is finding customer needs that are not fulfilled, so they present an opportunity. Other issue is defining them, and defining them in a way that they are actionable. And this was right off the bat, it was a big struggle for people. And here we have a quote, customers don't know what they want. It's very confusing. You hear one thing from what customers maybe tell they want, and then you build it, and then people don't buy it because you haven't really understood what customers wanted. So obviously a big issue. Another one is, unfortunately, has a lack of trust in their ability to lead. And this was something that was across the board that we heard all the time is, as a product manager, for example, you have only very limited impact. And that is, oh, there's some typing in the background. I don't know, maybe you can mute the microphone. As a product manager, you have only limited impact. And so you need to find ways how to lead other people without having that authority. There's some typing in the background. Miko, can you see if anyone has the microphone on?
Yep.
Then there was a lack of guidance by their leadership. It's like many times we've heard, well, our leaders, maybe they have an idea what to build or how to market, but there are really the guardrails missing. And not only once, we've heard that they throw it over the fence to the product manager or who's ever in charge of customer research. It's you figure it out. You figure it out. But without guardrails, of course, people told us they cannot move, and they cannot move swiftly. So this is a big gap today, is there are no processes, there are no best practices to follow. There's no overall philosophy how to build, how to figure out what customers want and what to build. There's also a general lack of trust in qualitative research. People tend to believe more numbers, more quantitative research. But when you really look at the value of quantitative research, it's really limited. It doesn't tell you what people wanted to accomplish. It doesn't tell you their story, their struggles, their pushes, their habits. All this information is missing, and you will find it in qualitative research. So our job is to make that qualitative research hard research in terms of people trust it, people take it as evidence. And so this is still a big issue that many people struggle with in the first place. Then the last one is also, how do I acquire these new skills? Reading a book doesn't make it. There's not a lot of good material out there to get people trained. There are, of course, courses, there are books, there are great workshops. I mean, but there is very little that takes someone from end to end, what I mean by starting a project, scoping a project, to the ideation phase. There are bits and pieces, but most products or most offers that we have seen, they are very kind of limited in nature. So these are 5 big struggles that people have. I hope that resonates. Maybe one or the other key issue you experience yourself. But now and I have to check if there are any questions so far in the chat.
Nope. I'll keep an eye on that.
No. Okay. Good. Then let's move to the next research, which is around experiences with applying JTBD. And when Mikko and I did this project, we had, I would say, low expectations. And we were totally stunned when we looked at the positive outcomes of JTBD in many different areas, in many different industries, in many different applications. So we're going to take a look at this. And instead of presenting it in PowerPoint, I will switch over to our good old mural board. So I need to stop sharing and change the window. And then we'll take a look at now everything's black. So let me change over to our mural board with the results.
Starting now.
I hope that's a little bit more entertaining. Can you see it already?
It's black.
Yep, here too.
I can see
Maybe
that
I need to
moving your mouse, but it.
Yeah, let me refresh.
Yeah,
then
now it looks better.
Hope it's coming up.
Warming up. Yep. Now I have it.
And great, thank you. And you should see the pains that drove the adoption of JTBD. Is that right?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, so let me quickly zoom out so you see the entire board. To the left, you can see the individual interviews that we projected, each interview on one wheel of progress. Then we had an aggregation here, and some of the data I turned into insights, which I'm going to show you. And we're going to look at 4 different aspects. The first aspect is what made people adopt JTBD. What were the pains? So that's what we call the pushes, the pains of the past. Then we're going to take a look at the outcome, the positive outcome, the benefits of experience through JTBD. The third cluster is going to be around constraints. So constraints are things in the way of adopting JTBD. They are not emotional, they are just factual. It could be like internal things, external factors, or time could be a constraint of adopting JTBD. And then we have a number of what I call the change agents. So what are the things that made a change that help people to move the organization to the next phase of adopting JTBD? So let's take a look at the pains first. And I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to walk you through these things. And some people had asked us whether we're going to share the results of this research. And yes, we will share the results. We haven't created a deck yet, but this is all good stuff, hopefully, that you can use in order to convince others to apply JTBD, or at least to get the process started. So I'm going to zoom in, and the first and the most dominant push that we heard was a dissatisfaction with the development process. People are not satisfied I mean, there are all these methodologies, but they were not really helpful in figuring out what people want and building what people want. There was a huge area. The next one was dissatisfaction with understanding and defining customer needs. And this is what I pointed out in the first research that we did, is that it's a huge area where people struggle with. Then another push was failed products. So the outcomes that were produced, and they just built stuff, applications, products, services that failed big time in the marketplace. And of course, who wants to repeat a mistake? Nobody wants. Then we had dissatisfaction with the research methodologies in particular. So you can consider this as part of the development process, but there was one cluster of issues directly related to how research, how customer discovery is done today. Then there was an overall perception we need to change as an organization. We cannot do the things, we cannot continue with the things that we have done in the past. Unfortunately, this does not always arise to a big pain, as we see later, that many organizations, they don't want to change. They want to stick with what they've done for the last 10, 20 years. Then there was a factor of frustration, stress, feeling overwhelmed. And I totally can relate to that. Being in that role can be very stressful and feeling overwhelmed when you feel that you're somehow sitting between the chairs. And as we have seen this also, unclear guidance by leadership, adapting to customer needs. So customer needs are changing. How do we adapt to that? The feeling, I need to improve my skills. And I'm going to move a little bit quicker because these were items that we didn't hear so often. Frustration with UX discipline, also challenges with sales and marketing. People are not questioning the status quo. Disagreement about the product management role, competitive pressures, the need to demonstrate the value of research, and challenges using jobs we've done in consulting context. And so you can see, you can read all these things that pushed towards a new way of doing it. And jobs we've done is not only being used to better understand customers, but also being used to build better products. So when I scroll through these items, maybe there are some that you will notice, I mean, either from your own interview that we did, or perhaps from your work that you feel, okay, these are things that really bothered me. And I've seen these in our organization as well. So this is kind of the problem side, what pushed me over. Now let's look at something more positive, which is really, really exciting. And when you compare these things, the number of benefits even outnumbers the number of pushes in terms of items. So maybe you can guess what the first one is. It's a more efficient customer discovery and development process. It is better understanding, capturing, and defining customer needs and how to add value. And the key word that I remember from all the interviews was like clarity. Jobs to be done provides clarity around, or helps to create clarity around what customers want and need. Also building the right or a successful solution was many times mentioned as a positive outcome. Fostering collaboration, creating alignment, marketing was also a topic, although we can say when we scroll out, marketing is not on the radar of many people yet, but marketing can greatly benefit from jobs to be done. purpose, creating a purpose-driven organization. When you read Clayton Christensen's book, Competing Against Luck, it's all about purpose. It's all about understanding what people want to accomplish in their lives and how we as providers can help customers to achieve these goals, these life goals sometimes. Improved leadership and stakeholder engagement, improving maturity of the organization and their capabilities and so on. Individual skills improvement, ability to create, test, and validate value propositions. Also, something I really like is using jobs to be done to create meaningful value propositions, not like what I've many times seen is like hanging up the value proposition canvas and kind of throwing out jobs to be done that I think customers care about. Thinking outside the box. This, of course, can happen in a project when you do the customer jobs to be done research, and you find customer jobs that are not well performed today, that you may think as an organization, okay, maybe this is a job that I want to take on in as an organization that we haven't looked at yet. I'm going to scroll a little bit quicker through these things so you can read them. Jobs to be done as a quality gate. I also thought this was interesting, and reassures decisions that have been made, and improved understanding of markets and technology trends is also an interesting one, because this is one that many companies focus more on. What's the latest trend, what's the latest technology, instead of really understanding and caring about customer jobs to be done. So, all right, let's look at constraints. So what are the things in the way of adopting jobs to be done? You probably can guess the first one, which is a typical thing, is a resistance to change. Nobody wants to change. No organization wants to change. Many of them are very risk adverse, and that is probably the hardest. Can you see that?
Yes, these are the things that are holding you back to get even started.
Exactly. Yeah, as I said, we're gonna create a summary of all these things, and then you should be able to think about what is relevant in your organization or also your customer client, that you might be able to think about and anticipate as a hurdle. So let's take a look at the change agents. Some of the change agents that we've heard, I call them change agents because they triggered something. Of course, very popular was kind of reading books and articles, and also buying books for others. There are lots of great books about jobs to be done. I really like the playbook by Jim Kalbach. I like also the book that Bob Meister wrote. Clayton Christensen's book. I've also written a chapter that I provide for free for an CX book. Also running internal workshops, presenting on how to approach problem and have a discussion with your peers and leadership. There were also opportunities to join internal research projects using jobs to be done in other departments, inviting jobs to be done expert, and work with them on a project, selling the idea and seeking sponsorship, which I like very much, inviting a consulting firm to present jobs to be done, participating in bootcamp, and attending a public conference like a product management conference. These are typical things that we've heard that, as I said, inspired people and also kind of triggered jobs to be done adoption. And final part is leading the alignment with customers. And I'm going to talk about what we mean by that and what would be a process to follow And leading alignment to create growth is combining merging different interests. The interests of customers, the interests of the organization. There are many unserved customer needs. There are many organization growth options. But we need to find the overlap between the two. Customer needs that are worth to be solved, and also using and choosing those that are favorite for the organization, so can help them grow. Otherwise, CEOs and executives won't really care about the underserved needs if they don't contribute to company growth. So the first step would be to understand, and that is always where we start our projects. It's like understanding the organization and understanding customers. These are complex tasks, especially the customers. The organization, understanding the organization is a little bit easier. We have a structured way how to capture objectives, KPIs, strategic objectives of the company, but figuring out what customers need is a little bit more complicated. I'm going to show it a little bit more in detail later on. Then this is alignment, aligning the organization around the problem. So what I mean is aligning the company, the organization as such with the customer, but also creating that internal alignment, creating that shared ownership, promoting collaboration, helping people feel the empathy, creating empathy with your colleagues. So really embracing them, making them part of the decision process. And this is, in my eyes, where the magic happens, is that step where you create alignment. And we have great tools to create that alignment. And then the third part would be ideate a customer-centric strategy. Often we ideate in silos. We ideate a product, a service. We ideate maybe marketing campaigns and sales actions and things like that. In order to create something that is truly customer-centric, we need another approach. And this is the approach that we are advocating. Ideate a customer-centric strategy around the customer journey. And the customer journey in our model has like 4 steps. We have the passive search, active search, trade-off, experience. And in each of these phases or stages, customers have different questions. They have different needs. They need different kind of support in order to move to the next phase. And so the first thing is that we should take the customer perspective when defining the customer journey, not our perspective. And this is a mistake I think almost all companies are making. They design, they try to manage the customer journey. The only one that manages the customer journey is the customer, but our job is to help customers, in my eyes at least, in order to move to the next step and in order to make progress, we could say. The first one would be encourage customers to start their journey. Many customers don't even start their journey. They wait until it's too late. There's harm, there's regret, they procrastinate, so we can help them get started. In the active search, we can help customers understand what they need and what they want and what they need. Often they don't know what they want. They don't know the complexity of the solution space. We can help them. We can help them make the right decision, buying the right solution, buying the right product or service. This is sometimes complicated and not really well done by providers. And we can help them, of course, to make sure they achieve their desired goals in the experience phase with the new solution. And this is end-to-end, I would say, a holistic approach for an organization to help customers make progress. And how we can put this into action, Mikko and we designed a program, a 12-week learning and coaching program that I'm going to introduce you next.
While you look for it, there's a question from Alexandra to the point 2. She says, do you mean it from the organizational development perspective, the organization who wants to provide a solution?
That refers to the customer journey.
Can you
maybe can unmute and ask that question? You mind?
Slide 12, she says, slide 12, so we can easily go back.
Okay, let me go back to slide. Oh, that's the one with the Venn diagram. Can you repeat the question?
So the point 2, do you mean it from the organizational development perspective, the organization who wants to provide a solution to the point 2?
Point 2 is about that creating the organization alignment.
Let her to speak. You can try now. Okay, no request. Didn't work. Can you try again? The speak button. Yep.
Alexandra.
There we go. Cool.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for joining.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was somehow kicked out or whatever. So no, you mentioned when there was, I think, a 3 or 4 step where you mentioned that the organization also needs to, I don't remember what was the word exactly, but to adapt or change. So basically what I read that jobs to be done is not applicable to every organization, or it can trigger even an organization development project, if I get it right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And there, the second point. Yeah. Align organization around the problem. Yes. Here. So do you mean really from that perspective that the organization who intends to provide solutions, and I explicitly don't say products, but solutions, basically it really depends on, the success depends on how you're organized.
Yeah, so let me explain what we do in this particular phase, or in this stage of the project. We love to work with diverse organizations, and the alignment process that we do is pretty easy, but it's not being performed today. It's like you have a list of customer jobs. You have a list of, we collect in total 12 elements, and 11 of the elements we can use for strategy development. So you need to create alignment with the organization, what customer jobs to apply for. And we have a matrix, a benefit matrix with objective criteria. So in a diverse team, we can evaluate the customer jobs using these criteria. And then we can stack rank them. We can have like the top 3 customer jobs, which are customer jobs that customers care about, and customer jobs the organization cares about. And this is a critical piece of the alignment, is creating this list of customer jobs to apply for with a diverse team. And like in the last project, we had people from product management, from development, from marketing, from channel, stakeholders from all the groups that need to create strategy to meet the customer needs. And the first step is, and that's critical, it's deciding on the problem. It's not about the solution. We defer the solution to the next phase. And deciding what problem you want to solve takes a lot of pressure out of, a lot of friction, a lot of anger out of the organization. Because most time we fight over the solution without having understood the problem. So let's take a look at our way to help people creating alignment in a very practical way. And this is our new web page. We really think, and it's not an exaggerated, it's a superpower that we can provide, because in every project that we did, this works. First of all, who is this program for? It is, of course, for people who need to feel some kind of dissatisfaction, some kind of I need a change. It's for someone who feels I'm really here, the customer guy. I'm the advocate of the customer, and the customer should be in the middle of everything. Maybe you're kind of feeling sometimes alone, that you're the only one, but we need people that are really truly thinking about the customer. It doesn't mean doing everything for the customer, but bringing everything together. Also, people who think I need something new, I need a new framework, I need new skills, I need new tools to help my stakeholders align with customers, and I'm ready to spend time, make sacrifices, no question about that, in order to advance my skills. So I'm going to scroll a little bit down to the next space, and this is something that we really envisioned, and I would say there's a big chance that you build your own domain, a domain that doesn't exist today in the company. Is that as a generalist becoming a specialist in alignment? I think you can carve out a nice space. So we talked about this. This is really at the core of that alignment that we're gonna equip people with. And here are the 3 stages. We have the understanding the organization, understanding the market opportunity, applying the jobs to be done with the Wheel of Progress framework. Then we have the alignment, as I mentioned before, and then we have an ideate where we close the loop. So we look at how people make progress in real life, we consolidate the data, and then we create strategies for marketing, sales, product, and service development. This is what you're going to get, a certification at the end. To be frank, I don't think a lot of people know about this certification, but that's not the point. The point is that you have the skills. And these are product or our program features. It's a 12-week hands-on training, 2 to 3 hours, most of the time 2 hours, 2 times a week. After work in EMEA, the EMEA time zone is the first one we're going to start with. It's a application of the jobs to be done theory. It's not just talking about it. It's a very lean process, very targeted, very directed towards strategy development. You get unique tools and a project template, as you have seen before. You're going to also apply skills in a real project. So we're going to set up a project, and we're going to seriously interview people about their customer journey, about their usage of the product. We're going to process it. We're going to do it like in a real project, and you're going to get plenty of opportunity to apply skills, to learn to interview, to take notes, facilitate workshops, everything. We're going to have it's very visual. The whole visual is learning is visual. Going to have a learning community, and there we also provide individual coaching sessions. And as I said, certification as a proof of professional skills. We have worked with companies of all different industries, geographics, and I can say this really works for B2B, for B2C. Here you can see, I'm not going to go through all these modules that we offer. And of course, when you are certified, you get all these tools. You get the mural template. You get a handbook with all the definitions. You get we have an AI companion. It's in beta right now, but the AI companion you can use to evaluate customer interviews. It creates the 12 elements that we usually put on the wheel of progress. And also a great tool is like cards for interviewing customers. So I'm going to go down here. We have 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks for registration. The cost is for the first cohort 3,000 euros plus VAT if applicable. The regular price is for 4,200 plus VAT. And so if you desire to have these skills, if you want to apply jobs to be done, if you want to be the one in your organization to create alignment, this would be the right opportunity for you and the right program. And if you're interested in and want to check the timing session timing and also purchase, just click this button. It takes you to our shop. Yeah, sign up. You can download the calendar so you see when the sessions are gonna take place. And yeah, it would be just awesome to see you there.
Pretty much coming to the end. We can still, for the people who like to have the time to and have some more questions, we are happy to answer those. But
just to mention that, yeah, we have this coaching program, but also we do intact training projects for organizations. If you say, okay, that it's not only interesting for me as an individual, I want to maybe we have a project coming up, and then we want to try this approach. We can do that as well. But both of us, Miko and I, we are of course on LinkedIn. You can see our website. If you have any questions, feel free to call us, send us email. We are happy to help. We have also case studies, jobs to be done case studies. I do have a nice case study with an American healthcare company up on the website. It's in the blog section that shows a typical project, how long it took. The last project we did was, I think, like 12 interviews, took like 2 months from project start to finish. It wasn't even 2 months, full 2 months. I think it was like 7 weeks. So it's pretty streamlined what we do, because we can do these interviews and evaluation in real time. So there's no backlog, and then, so it more depends on the schedule. How many interviews can you line up? That determines the length of a project.
But anyway, thanks for everybody joining, and I hope you got some valuable insights and are ready to take them to the action. So big thank to you, 𝗟𝗏, as well.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Thanks Miko. Thanks our participants. Thanks very much, and hope to stay in touch. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye now.